Happy Friday.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's going on, boy?
What it do, Victor?
Doing good. Pleasure to join you guys.
Where's the fucking excitement?
It's great to have you, Vic.
I'm not a big on-camera guy. I am not an on-camera guy. It's going to take me a minute, but I'll get there. That's why we're having these.
Yeah. You know, nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. Yeah.
Hey.
You just fuck it.
I'm the guy that goes on vacation and says, oh, I should have taken some pictures, huh?
Dude, I am too, actually, bro. I'm that same guy. Like, I am not a picture per, just like, period, man. It's fucking, it's funny, man. Victor, how was your day?
It was good, talking to people about ocean freight, talking to people about drayage. Friday's always a good feel, especially in our industry. Everybody's out of the office by 12 p.m. So you have no one to talk to after that. No one's picking up the phone, so you just focus on finishing out the day.
That's true, bro. Hey, like nobody answers the phone on Friday. Mondays too. Monday's a touchy one too, man.
Yeah. Monday morning. No one. They're doing all their meetings. You talk to the secretary on Friday. She's like, "Yeah, these guys in the warehouse, they're not here."
For real. No, that's the fucking truth, dude. Oh, that's fucking good shit. Hey, how was your day, Hunter?
Started off good. Nice rough week in the industry.
Oh, no, it didn't, bro. You need to be honest and talk about what happened today.
Can I fucking finish? It's
bad. What could you say? Good.
Why is he setting you up?
Can we start the show over? So good rough week, and walked out after our daily meeting today to go get some lunch, and some fucking hooligan had bashed in the back window of my Jeep, probably a double broker, I assume. Rummaged through all my shit, glass laying everywhere, open up the door.
Trying to find Hunter's book of business.
I guess. I don't know what they found.
Bro. Oh my god.
But so if y'all don't know, in the newer Jeep Grand Cherokees, if your battery runs low, anytime you open up the door, the alarm will go off for like 30 seconds, 3 times the minimum. So I made a lot of friends with my neighbors today. Had a cop come by and do some fingerprints. As he's rummaging through my car, the alarm's going off. So I'm dead in the water and have a nice garbage bag over it. But you know what? We're still trucking on. That's all that matters. I'm gonna go and sell even more so I can fix that window and hire a guy to go kick those people in the shin. I do have a pond in my backyard, so
Hunter's gonna be the guy you see driving
block shoes.
Hunter's gonna be the guy you see driving down the road with the duct tape window.
Bro, I thought I left those days a long time ago. I used to drive this old BMW and the window just decided it wouldn't roll up anymore. So I just put over I actually had a tie-dye cooking apron on it at one point. But
you don't have to do an insurance claim, right? Like nothing, your car wasn't damaged or anything?
What are you talking about? They busted out my back window. There was glass all over my back seat.
Did you call your insurance?
Yeah, and they said they'd get back to me in 2 to 3 business days.
I wouldn't have.
Hey, they said it's Friday. We're leaving at noon.
Dude, I made a police report. But dude, here's the thing: someone's car got stolen, so I didn't fare out too bad. But I will go to war with this insurance company.
No, because I did insurance. That was like my first thing. While I was in college. So the next time you renew your policy, they're gonna hit you with you live in a dangerous area, and you had car theft, which means like you're not responsible. So your insurance is gonna shoot up.
You're not responsible.
Yeah, good luck. If there's any lawyers on here, call me.
I know a guy. I know a lawyer. He's on LinkedIn. He's pretty cool. Matt Loeffler.
Matt Loeffler saved me.
Yeah, he's awesome, bro. I need to get him on the show. He does his own little podcast, but like he calls himself the armchair attorney. So a lot of his stuff is like, I wouldn't say legal jargon, but like legal jargon. You know what I mean? But he's super fucking funny. So anyway, my day was all right. Nothing nothing exciting, nothing good, nothing bad. It was just another day. So nothing really to talk about, man. But with that said, we are going to get to our first commercial break and have a word from our sponsors. That is Karen and King Insurance. They specialize in commercial insurance, specifically for you carriers out there, owner operators, full fleets. Also help with brokers as well. She's very knowledgeable. Make sure you guys get the proper insurance coverage that you need, get the rates that you need, have those good amounts that you're required to have, and give her a call. We'll run her information across the bottom of the screen during the show. So just be on the lookout for that and give her a shout. And next, we're going to move on to our other sponsor. Bada bang, bada boom. That's Freight Management Systems. Henry Sheldon and his team. They've got a pretty kick-ass software. It's a transportation management system for you brokers, carriers, and shippers out there. Really cool technology. They will be rolling out some really, really nice updates here soon. We'll have Henry back on the show to talk about that. With that said,
I want to say something else on that. With Freight Management Systems, they have e-signature on the phone in the app.
Yes.
For all you drivers out there, no more stopping. That's my favorite thing in the world, man. I love that.
Hunter, I'm so excited.
It really is. It really is, Victor. They have a really great system, man. We had him him on, the CEO, and they do, man. Their technology is really sweet. Their app is really good, man. It's one of the better apps out there for a TMS system. So it just has a lot of features, man. Really, really cool shit. Really, really super techy. So
he's launching some drayage tracking as well, which I'm interested to see how he does that.
Drayage
he
tracking.
is. Yeah. He's going to come back.
He loves a challenge.
I guess so, man. He's been in the business, I don't know, a while. So, and the company's been in business for what he say, Hunter, like 25 years or some shit like that.
Yeah, about 30 years. So
he's somewhere around
super smart dude.
It's honestly not that hard to do the tracking. It's just, I think truckers don't want to get tracked. So, good luck.
Oh, he's got a flip phone.
I mean, we could. Yeah. Sorry, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Victor.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, it is hard to get carriers to track, but I mean, it's pretty much the way it is now. And anytime they say something to me about it, I always tell them, well, hey, if you hire a driver and, to put in your truck, you're going to fucking track them, aren't you? You're going to want to know where your $200,000 worth of equipment is at. Well, I and my customer want to know where their 50, 60, 70, $250,000 of freight is at. You know what I mean? I just think that's a fair exchange. So, but
yeah,
that's a good sign to question who you're working with. But yeah, the drayage tracking, that's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, that will be, man. I'm not into drayage, so I'll be interested to hear how they lay it out, because the few times I have done dray, I've told you, Hunter, like it's completely out of my realm, man. It was a fucking nightmare, dude.
No, I mean, I think it's very important, man. Like, I think sometimes people don't think about, just in perspective of, sometimes that one container is somebody's whole company. Like, they're waiting for that one shipment to
That's a good point, man.
make like, they need to use that, make their sales. They're probably in the red. So like, those people want to see it. Like, that makes you nervous. So I hope that somebody can figure that out.
Yeah, we'll touch on that here in a little bit, man. That'll definitely flow well into the tech talk.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll go ahead and get into our little news segment here. Y'all know I like to bring something to everyone's attention. Tonight, we're going to talk about licensing standards as far as CDL holders versus Class C, which is just the license you have to drive your car. So let's go ahead and get into that.
What you got for us today, Pedro?
Try not to pull up, bro. Come on now.
People
There
waiting.
we go. Yeah, right. So this article, it's basically it just covers, like I said with the intro, about what Class C drivers have to pull trailers and weights versus what a Class C driver has to pull trailers and certain weights. This one specifically, it is an article or is a picture from an accident that was caused by an RV towing a trailer. And it talks about the links and stuff in there, but the article has an amazing point, to be a truck driver and, pull that 53-foot trailer and haul those weights. You got to go through all kinds of training, take tests, get your Class A, and then go through continuing training, all these safety things and recertifications and such. However, could just, or a Class C driver could just go out, jump in a 45-foot motorhome, attach a 25-foot trailer to the fucking back of it, and just go down the road like nobody's business. No training, nothing, no kind of special certification on their license. They can just go on down the highway. And even though, this may be this person's RV, you got to think about how often those folks actually drive those vehicles. You know what I mean? I mean, if any of y'all have neighbors that have RVs or even campers, I've got a neighbor that's got a camper, and man, he uses that thing every great blue moon. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his is just a short 30 foot when he used to haul cars, so it's no big deal to him. But regardless, the point stands in this accident right here. I'd have to go through the article and find it. Oh, an RV hauling a 20-foot enclosed trailer crossed the median, rocketed into oncoming traffic August 9th, and it killed 5 people. So, boom, right there. And, this person is maybe going to be held liable to some extent, but just think about if we replaced that RV with a 20-foot trailer and it had been a truck driver who had crossed that median and killed 5 people, the shitstorm that would come down on that guy. And he would most likely be arrested, and charged with some kind of, felony, just like the guy in Denver, that came down the hill and, ran through all those people. And
I was about to bring him up, man. Yeah.
As someone, like I told y'all before, I drove 10 and a half years. I've been to every fucking corner of this country in a truck. And I will agree. I will say that these RV drivers out there, I wouldn't say that they're dangerous, but they are a hazard on the road. A lot of them drive 50, 55 fucking miles an hour in a 70 mile an hour zone. They don't change lanes properly. They don't give proper following distance, because they don't have that training that a Class A driver, has. And
you got some guy named Dan from South Carolina that has, you ain't gonna tell him how to drive.
I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, Rob. My dad is actually a truck driver as well. He's been driving for 30 years.
Oh, sweet.
He drives for Polish Spring down in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Okay.
But like he used to tell me, he's like, hey, if I go a month, 2 months without driving a truck, like I'm a little rusty in the turns. Like it's like you have to get comfortable. How is this guy even allowed to pull the 20-foot off an RV? It's already hard enough to drive an RV. Never mind pulling 20. That's
there
insane.
You go. That's the whole point of it, brother. I mean, that is their exact point is, an RV is one thing, I mean, a short RV, 26, 30 feet, whatever, that's one thing. But when you start adding, linked onto that, and then you add a trailer onto the back of it, and all of these RVs, it's a God, what is it called? A pintle hitch, or not a pintle hitch, a ball hitch. You know what I mean? So it's not a fifth wheel like on a tractor trailer or even a hot shot where you have better control over it, man. You change lanes too quickly on something that's a ball hitch. I mean, Hunter, I'm sure you fucking pulled trailers, bro. Victor, I don't know, maybe you have in a pickup truck, but I mean, those things react completely different than anything that is attached to a fifth wheel. And
that's what I was telling you about that fifth wheel I saw the other day. Guy driving the big F350.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how long those fifth wheels are, but also had probably a 12-foot trailer attached onto the back of that fifth wheel. So that's Like that's insane. Like I don't know how people get away with that.
And,
like
and you know, coincidentally, if you see here in this photo, that's an OD truck and that's doubles. That driver has to have an extra fucking endorsement on his license to pull double trailers. But
well, I was looking. I was looking this up. Have you ever heard of rail train or road trains in Australia?
yeah, like in Australian stuff. Yeah, 100%.
Dude, pulling. I'm looking at some right now, dude. Like 4 or 5 trailers at a time. And
I don't know if they still do it, but up in Canada and then in the Northeast,
the Super Bees.
They call them turnpike doubles, and it's 2 48 or 53-foot trailers. And it's kind of like an American version of a road train, but you know, all they do is just run interstates, and man, they directly get off the interstate and go directly to a warehouse. No like crazy driving shit, but I had seen some of those and talked to those guys, and all they had to have was just regular doubles. But you know, the point remains, you know, this person ended up killing 5 people, you know, because they were you know driving a vehicle that they obviously didn't know how to handle. I mean, maybe the person fell asleep. I'd have to reread the article. I can't remember if they explained what happened to it, but oh no, there it is right there. A steer tire blew out and caused the issue, you know. Now, as it says right here, it's a bad deal even for the best trained driver. That is absolutely true. I've had a steer tire blow out on a semi. That shit is no joke. I've never had one blown on a car, but it is a serious thing, you know. Regardless, you know, I mean, the person crossed the median and killed 5 people, and now it's really bringing into questioning, like, you know, do these folks that pull these or drive RVs or pull them, you know, because
think about who's really driving RVs, man. You know, you get a lot of these old cats that are retiring and then just going out and getting these massive boats of vehicles. And nobody has questions because, I mean, shit, like, you got the money to buy it. We're not going to say anything. But even, like, you can rent these things, you know?
I wonder if this guy even had this insured. Like, this has to be a huge – I doubt he had insurance on that container he was pulling.
That was actually another point they make down in the bottom of the article, Victor. I'm really glad you brought that up because I forgot. Yeah. But that was also a thing is, you know, commercial motor carriers, you know, they have to have certain levels of insurance for incidences like this. You know, your general liability is $1 million. You know what I'm saying? For things like this. This person in this RV probably had, you know, I don't know, basic full coverage or something, what, 50,000 or whatever it may be. And these families, that's all they're going to get. They could sue them in civil court, but that doesn't mean you're going to get shit, you know?
Yeah. Still life taken.
I'm glad you brought that up, bro. That's a good one.
Yeah, man. Tough. That's a tough one. 5 people. That's sad.
Yeah. So, honestly, I've been a person to be, you know, just to be completely honest, I've always thought that even people who get a regular driver's license should have to go through like some sort of CDL standard testing. You know what I mean? Because people on the road today are just fucking dangerous, man. You know what I mean? They don't use their blinkers. And I'm not saying all drivers are safe, but commercial drivers are the safest people on the road, you know, because they have a lot to lose. And there's a lot at risk for them, not only their life and their health, but, you know, their license, their future, their career and stuff. And, you know, I mean, even I remember when I was a driver, we used to talk shit about box truck drivers, man, because they were fucking nuts. You know, most of them, you don't have to have a CDL to drive all of them. And so they all drive it like it's a fucking car, like a maniac. You know what I'm saying? So there's even people out there that are professional drivers that, you know, don't even have the proper licensing and they drive like idiots, dude. And
well, it's the same with like hot shots, man. Isn't it like anything under 10,000 pounds you can haul?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not completely sure, but yes, you're about right. Like hot shots, even you only have to have a CDL like once you're towing or pulling, hauling, whatever, past a certain tonnage. And I can't remember what it is. When we ran a hot shot, my guy just had a regular Class A, so we never worried about it. You know what I mean? So,
but it'd be good to get though. You know, I mean,
I agree, man. I agree 100%. So yeah, there's our new story tonight. Talking about licensing standards as far as people who drive RVs and pull trailers behind them, or pull large RVs behind their truck, and the qualifications that these people should have to go through, and the licensing that they should have to be able to do that stuff. So there we go. And I will end with that. And Victor will thank you very much, Hunter. I was just about to do that. Victor will hand it over to you and Hunter.
Well, we're going to introduce Victor real quick, just so everybody knows who he is. There you are, Vic. Your own little special intro video.
Love that. Thank you for making that for me.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on it, man.
Oh, it's KG. What's up, Kyle? That's my boss. What's up, KG? How you doing? Yeah, he'll type back a minute. Keep going, Victor.
But yeah, no, been a part of Frame Mango, international logistics, about 2 years now, working as an account executive. But it's a lot of fun, man. International logistics it's a whole different ball game. Hunter is getting into it now, but I think we all have a passion. I mean, Rob, you do owner operator. You're an owner operator, right? For your truck, or you work for?
No, I mean I do have my own truck, but I'm also a broker. But I do traditional freight, van, flatbed, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So
well, Vic, where'd you start up at, man?
So I started my logistics. I started at Worldwide Express. So that was, I don't know if you guys have heard of that company, but they're a 3PL. So they do parcel, LTL, FTL, and ocean. The ocean part, they're not that big on, but the main business is parcel. So I went there, great company to come in as someone that just has never done anything with logistics. Great training program. They literally fly you out to Dallas, Texas. They do a whole week of just teaching you everything about what's essential to logistics, right? So something arriving internationally or exporting something, how important it is. And that's what I was getting to with Rob. It's like how important it is to know how companies work, how trucking works, how drayage works, right? Domestic, international, all the rules, why insurance is important. So getting to know all those things was really essential to probably where I am now. But what I would say is what helped me the most with that company was that we were door to door. So Worldwide Express, you literally just show up to a warehouse and you knock on the door and you're like, hey, this is what I do. Like, can I talk? Like, who's the decision maker? Who's the one that oversees the contracts for UPS, FedEx, your freight contracts? But what was really fun was just seeing the warehouse, like seeing what these people do day to day. And I looked at it kind of like as like if you're a quarterback, right? You play football. It's like you have to know everything on offense, right? So I have to know like what parcel is, right? Like how packages are delivered, how important the services are, everything with trucking. But it's like when you go into the warehouse, it's like you're learning the defense and you get to just like see what they do, what's important to them, like why time is important for them to save, like just what makes them tick. And that really changed just the way that I looked at logistics, and it just drew me in more.
Beautiful, beautiful. What got you into that? Like what was your tick to get into logistics?
So I think just I love to travel, and I was born in the Dominican Republic. So I came to the US, study abroad in Spain, travel Central America for 3 months, just like backpack. So I think just going through all of those experiences, like I always just wanted to connect with different cultures. And then when I moved to Miami, so I used to live in Boston, moved to Miami. And then you just see all the ports. You see Port of Miami. And then I was like, I need to get into that. And I was doing tech sales. And I was like, nah, I need to learn about logistics. And I literally like next day I was like, I'm applying to all these companies. I applied to UPS, FedEx, everything. And then came across Worldwide Express on LinkedIn. They reached out to me and I went and interviewed. and he's still the manager of the Miami office. James Venegoni, like best person I've ever met. Like this guy literally just told me, he's like, hey, I like who you are. He's like, I will do my best for you to become an amazing salesperson. And I was like, hire me. Like, I want to work with you. And like that guy, man, that guy was amazing. That guy, like the days that you didn't want to work, he would work for you. Like he would call me and be like, hey, that lead that you had, I'm here. Like I'm talking to them. Like we're going to close this. Like, and I have no idea. I'm like, hey, how am I going to close this? Like he's trying to close it for me over there, meeting with them. So it was a great introduction to that. And then just like his passion combined with just like how Worldwide Express goes about teaching logistics, like that drew me in. And then like from the beginning, like the goal was always to work international. So did parcel, but I always wanted to get to the containers. Always wanted to get to the containers. And now I'm at the containers end. Man, it's a 24-hour job. It's a 24-hour job.
That's logistics, period, bro. Like if you ain't working 24 hours in this business, bro, you're doing something wrong. Like seriously, you are.
Well, Raj chiming in.
Raj,
all the
Raj
way
knows.
from India.
Raj
that
knows.
man does not stop working. That's our international man of mystery right there. Raj is the dude to go to for you need the rate. He's got it.
Yeah, Raj does not sleep. So right now it's morning time in India. Or it's about to be morning time. It's about to be. He's up in morning. He's up at night. I don't know when he sleeps, but he just gets the job done.
Yeah, we hop in on Slack and it says it is 10 p.m. in India, and that dude goes all night, all day. He said he's waiting for the show.
I got a customer. I got a customer like that, man. Like he lives in Vancouver, in Canada. But like I don't know when this guy sleeps because I'll wake up and like he sends me emails at like 3:30 in the morning, and then he emails me again at 10, and I'm like, where the fuck did you sleep, man? Like,
he said I didn't sleep.
Hey, this is not.
Shit, man.
If you love sleep, this is not the industry for you. I would say Parcel is the most easygoing one because once you like UPS, FedEx, DHL, they handle it for you. Like there's not much you can do operationally on that. But like domestic LTL, dude, my first LTL experience account, man, it's just people are calling you. They don't care if you're working or not working. You just like, they're like, hey, this guy, the driver didn't arrive or driver has a flat tire. Like I did not know that this was going to be the experience.
Sounds like their first rodeo. If you know LTL, they got a mind of their own, man. I had a buddy call me the other day. He's like, what the fuck is going on with Yellow? And then another one I want to talk about. I was like, well, Yellow went out of business. He's like, well, yeah, so this other person took on all this freight and they're not responding. And I got a new account set up. Can I just go up there to terminal and take the freight? I was like, yeah, I'd let the manager know, but yeah, it's your business. And if they refuse to give it to you, like, call the cops. But yeah. So Vic, how'd you get into Freight Mango? I mean, you've been here what, 2-3 years now?
So I mean, to the conversation we were just having, like I just in logistics, everything's connected, like from ocean to an owner operator. And like I think there's always like historical events that happen that just changes the trajectory of like how the industry goes, right? Most recent one, COVID. And then right before that for me was Central Transport. Like, and that was more in the US. Like when I started in 2018, like I'm not a seasonal, right? I've been doing this for 5-6 years. Like people really care about quality of service. It was, hey, like we want to make sure that people are delivering on time. We want to make sure that they're handling goods. And the first time I saw a shift that people only care about price was when Central just came in and they were 40%, 30% lower than anyone. And it shifted, like it went from you're not selling so much on quality, like obviously to the big guys you are, but Worldwide Express, we were small to medium sized businesses. So we just saw that like everyone just wanted, what are the best rates? What are the best rates? What are the best rates? And then that's what we geared towards. And then COVID hit. So once COVID hit, I lost over 80% of my portfolio. of customers because they went bankrupt or had to shut down, like
Yep.
went to skeleton operation. And then once that happened, I got a little bit of taste of parcel, and I was like, hey, I want to learn more about this parcel piece. Went over to work for a company named Shipware. Shipware focuses on contract negotiation. So the backside of, hey, like you ship with UPS, like everybody. So obviously everything in logistics is based on volume. How much you ship, how much you spend is going to determine what you pay.
Right.
But people think that like, oh, I spend this, I have good rates. Not really. Like so when I was at Worldwide Express, I would see someone that spends 100,000 have better rates than someone that was spending millions. And it was just negotiating and just being willing to listen to someone that's trying to like help you out. Right. And then that's what I say Central is important, because they opened that door, because people were so like accustomed to just being like, hey, like nothing's happening here. They're taking care. My product is arriving. Like there's nothing I need to do. I don't need to switch. But then when you start saving, and then it's like, okay, Central is doing a lot of bad things, but then you experience other company, like a big company that I thought was doing great at that time was Pitt, Ohio. Like Pitt, Ohio grew. It went from like just an Ohio company to taking over all Central of the U.S.
Yeah, they went very regional.
And they're just known for their service, but they also give you fair pricing, right? So it's just like, that's what I'm saying. Like everything is connected, and even through like parcel, it's the same thing. It's not about like, yes, like if you're someone that's a director of logistics, someone that does supply chain, it's amazing that like your job is to negotiate and make sure you have good rates, but that's not what you're doing every day. Like you still have a job to do. So it's like, why not listen to someone that's going to be able to help you? And that's what Shipware did. It's like, hey, like we'll negotiate your contracts. We have experts that have done pricing, and we'll make sure that you're getting fair pricing, right? And that's kind of like what led into me going into container and coming of Freight Mango. It was like, okay, I don't want to work for a forwarder. Like I just always felt so bad having these conversations, and it's like, oh yeah, like I'm helping you out, but I know I'm getting like 30%, 40% margin on you.
Break them down, dude. Freight forwarders, break them down.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it really, it is what it is, but that is the business. Like,
yeah,
if you're a freight forwarder, you're trying to make money on everything. It's like, hey, oh, well, it's literally like I've seen a freight forwarder be like, well, I could get that container out right now, but if we wait an extra day, that's a fee. We make a margin off that fee. So it's like, yeah, your freight forwarder does take care of you, but how often are you looking at all of those invoices, especially if you're a large shipper? Like you're not looking at that every day. So I wanted to find a company that like would literally just service the industry. Like I didn't want to play that margin game. I just wanted to be able to have conversations about helping someone move product, whether it was into the US or outside of the US. And just having Freight Mango recruited me, just listening to those conversations, because I was very comfortable at Shipware. But just like the more and more I heard about the product, and I had heard about, obviously you have like Freightos, you have Shipper Freight, you have Freight Mango, right? Those are some of the big marketplaces. It was just like, oh, this is for me. It's what I've been wanting to do. I want to go international. So it's been amazing. But how has your experience been? I would love to hear it from you, because I've been doing it for a bit, and you're coming in now. I know you've
my
done
experience with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
or like just coming from drayage to now being more in the international side of ocean.
Well, yeah, I mean, to your point, man. First of all, beautiful explanation about how this industry works. I mean, you know, I've seen truckload side. I've worked with LTL, box trucks, you know, Canadians with Mexico, you know, all across the board. But, you know, starting off with some of the bigger 3-letter name companies, you see where, you know, like you have this product that people really can benefit from. But within that, there's a lot of greed that is built, you know, and I say this, man, brokers get in hair, like they just get lazy, you know, like same with these freight forwarders, dude. Like they get lazy. They'll send these contracts. They'll have it in. They won't even go and research new rates. They won't check in on those customers, and it just kind of gets sloppy, dude. And it's sad because people wonder why we're dealing with these influx of rates. Outside of like tariffs and import taxes and all that jazz. Because God, the GRI is a shake of the dice thrown at the table, man. Like every 15 days, Rob, if you didn't know this, and if anybody else didn't know that, import rates change on the 1st and the 15th of every month. It could go up, it could go down. Nobody knows. But
First of the month, wake up. No.
Ding, 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 ding. But yeah, man, it's really like Jeff that we were talking to earlier today, just talking about it. It's a long-term game, man. And some of these companies would just be gouging, they'd see a good opportunity and get dollar signs in their eyes. And that's just not really, I mean, obviously we're all here to make money, but ultimately, like you try to gouge somebody big time off the first load, you're going to lose them. But the integration of like with Freight Mango, man, it is amazing. It's something that I love, that not getting micromanaged. Everybody's here to make sure that the customer, like Chris Sampson, shout out to you, brother. Meet the customer where they're at. You let us know what you need. You let us know how we can do this for you if you are willing to listen to us as the experts, which is why you hire us in logistics. If you were the expert in logistics, which nobody is, like, you'd be working in logistics. You'd be running your own freight. But it really does come down to, like, just being an honest company, working as, doing good business, man. But yeah, it's something that, like you said, Victor, man, it is a blessing. Like it's something that I haven't really dealt with before, but it's cool. It's cool. I don't really know how else to explain it. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still in the twilight zone of like, is this real?
Yeah.
So
I go ahead, Rob.
Victor, when you get a chance, tell us about the platform. Remember, we were talking about that in our pre-show, and Hunter said, "Man, save that for the show." So once you're done, I'm sorry, I thought y'all were done with this topic, but get more into the platform, man, because I'm interested in it, and there's a lot of people in the Facebook group that they really like drayage and do that stuff, and they're interested in how things work on y'all's side of it.
Here, I'll share my screen real quick. Share screen.
Yeah. I mean, essentially it's just like, and I wouldn't even go into like the Freight Mango pitch. I think the good thing about a podcast, you can just talk on something. And it's like, right, you have a marketplace. What are marketplaces that we have today, right? Like Kayak, where you can go in, look at different airlines, right? Because if you go to Delta, yeah, they might be good out of Atlanta, 2 different places in the U.S. You have United, they're better in central U.S., right? You have JetBlue, they dominate out of Boston mostly. That's where their base is. Right? American Airlines, Miami. So it's unless you know all of that information, like you're better off just using a marketplace. And that's just what I always say. Yeah, if you're a big company, right, and you've been doing this for a long time, and you have contracts with steamship lines, or you're a big drayage, you do a lot of drayage, and you have a lot of experience, and you get these contracts, perfect. Like that is who you should already know who you should be working with. You don't need a marketplace, but there's a lot of companies out there that should be using a marketplace because of that, right? Because you don't have access to all of that information, and it's like going to a market. What's great about a market? You have somebody selling apples there. You have someone selling apples over here. You have someone selling oranges here. I think we lost Rob.
They hopped out. But yeah, to touch on that, Vic, man, I mean, I love the Kayak example because it's, like in our platform, if we send you a booking or any kind of, quotation, request, like you see every single thing you're going to get charged with. And the beautiful thing about us is like you see our service charge at the bottom. And if that doesn't work for you, even if you go through our marketplace, you come through us. If that doesn't work, you let us know what you need to be at, because we have people like Roz. We have our whole team here to cater to your services. There's no surprise charges. Now, obviously, in logistics, like with drayage, there are some things that come up, but we let you know live time. I mean, it is a beautiful thing. And my favorite part, all your documents are in one place, man. It's just easy. But I'll let you get back to it, Vic.
Yeah, no, but it's exactly what you said. It's a market. Like we're showing you the different partners that we have. We're putting them against each other, and it's like, hey, we've vetted all of these companies, right? So we make sure that these companies have quality service, quality communication, which is very, very important. Like when people, if I'm a supply chain person, I'm a logistics manager, I look for the company that has the best communication, because communication saves you more money than you just negotiating a rate, right?
Yep.
Especially like in drayage, in ocean, when something arrives at the port, if you don't have somebody that knows how to communicate and get that out of there quickly, you're going to lose way more money than what you're going to save and just getting someone to give you like better rates up front. So communication, great service, competitive pricing, right? We have to give competitive pricing. And because we're a marketplace, we work with a lot of company. The volume that we're able to handle and that we've done for a long time allows us to get access to great pricing. We're also a sister company of Vanguard Logistics, who's been in the industry for over 20 years. And they give us access to what in the industry is called platinum rates, right? So we're offering that forward to companies, and we can even go into contract rates, right? If you have the proper volume, you have the proper setup, you have a desirable product, we can go in and work that for you. So it's very flexible, but as you can see, very simple to use. Create an account, it's free to create. Within this platform, it's web-based, so there's no installation required. You go in, you can see that you could search by LTL, you can search by full container, and then trucking, which is a new part of our business, right? And the trucking really just came from a lot of our customers asking for a trucking solution. Right?
Yep.
They were just, and Hunter, you talked about this all-in rate. People just want to know what their cost is going to be.
Yep.
It's like we were like, Rob, when you were growing up, I'm sure you used to hear your parents all the time being upset about their cell phone bill because T-Mobile, Verizon were adding in all those fees.
No, bro.
Well, somebody out there did.
No, bro. I'm almost 40 years old, bro. Like my parents didn't have cell phones.
Well, I know what you're talking about, baby.
I should ask you, Hunter. Rob,
those surprise like roaming rates. Oh, you were a little bit outside of our network, so we got to charge you with this.
Yeah.
But we don't let you know until you get the bill, and if you don't pay us, we're shutting your phone off.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially in the trucking, man, like, especially with drayage, you go through this, we're going to show you everything that you could potentially get charged with. And you see that up front. It's not something like, yeah, I'm going to give you this all-in rate, and if I email you this extra sheet and you don't see it, you're going to come back to me pissed. No, like, we're going to give you this rate. We're going to talk to you about it, walk you through it, make sure everything looks good. And if you don't understand something, we're a phone call away. This marketplace is just here for ease, man. It's not, I mean, we all have, if you've been in this industry long enough, like, like if you have a Gmail account or what is it, G Suite, dude, it is almost impossible to find an email sometimes, especially going through the details, saving everything, having a million different files. Like, you have all the addresses that you need to save in here. Boom, instant quotes, bookings, quotes, analytics. Like, it is very, very simple. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing hidden. There's nothing hidden. Like, to Victor's point, we have additional resources outside of just our platform, because that's the extra step it takes. We're not going to be one of those people that just tosses you a number just, out of the blue so we can get it back as quick as possible. If it's something that we don't have right away, we're going to let you know that. But we're going to let you know why we have to take a little bit more time to get that for you. Because Lord knows there are some companies out there that will just toss you something out of the blue, and You're going to look like an idiot to your customer. Like,
but and then I mean another part to that is just like with the transparency, it's just using information, and we can jump into that in a bit, so we can do a commercial break because I need to grab another beer.
so we will stop sharing here for a second. You know, the only thing better than beer, slightly,
Nothing's better than beer, bro. Back that
is the great services offered by Karen and King. Beautiful. Nothing like a nice cold Karen and King in the morning, you know.
You know what is equally as fucking awesome as Karen and King and her incredible insurance rates? Freight management systems led by the Carney himself, Henry Sheldon. Yay! We want to give a special thanks again to Freight Management System, Henry Sheldon and his team, and Karen Cole with Karen and King Insurance for sponsoring the show, as well as coming on and spending time with us last week and the week before. We really appreciate you guys. And Victor, I appreciate you letting us do a little commercial break, man. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but Hunter and I have a little schedule set here that we try to stick with, man. So as they say, back to you, Victor.
Hey, I am new to this. This is my first experience of even talking about this out loud. I think I'm the most private salesperson ever.
I feel you, bro.
You don't go yelling in the streets like I do?
Huh?
I just go in the middle of Broadway with a big old FM painted on my chest, screaming at people.
No. I don't even think – it was funny, actually. I was talking to my brother the other day, and he doesn't even really know what I do. And I was like explaining to him. He's like, "Oh, that is what you do." He's like, "Oh, it makes sense now." So now I'm big on like I love my job. I work very hard, but it's like once I'm outside of it, people won't even know what I do.
We don't all wear trucker hats and have mullets and smell like
I think that's
raw
just
rose.
a Southern thing, Hunter.
No. It's all over the spot, man.
You better watch out, bro. Talking about Southerners, we will kick you the fuck off this show.
You're barely in the South, man. You're in the United States of Texas.
Hey, I'm telling. I mean, some people say that, man, but like I consider myself a Southerner because I mean, all my family's from the Panhandle of Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana. I mean, like we all have Southern values, you know what I mean? Where I'm from, I have Southern values. I say sir and ma'am and y'all and hot diggity and knee high to a grasshopper, you know what I mean? So, and my favorite one, and y'all can use this one, is I'm busier than a hooker in a political convention.
You're crazy. I heard that fake Southern accent coming out from a mile away.
I don't think I have an accent. I don't try. I mean, now, you know, if y'all want me to, I can start talking like that, you know. I can't even fake a Southern accent. I'm a Southerner and can't even fake one, bro. Like, that's the sad part about it.
Oh, hey, real quick, Vic, you wanna give me a random lane to run down? Just to show people how easy this is.
Yeah, I mean, just do simple one.
Shanghai.
Yeah, you can do Yantian, Shanghai to LA, Long Beach, New York.
All right, so yeah. All right, so it's as simple as you come in here and click over to search quotes. It'll pull up we also offer air freight, trucking, less than container load, pick the size of your container. We're going to do 40 foot, 1 unit, 35,000 pounds. We're just going to put freight of all kinds for the simplicity of it. Choose when you want to get it picked up or gate in. Now, good thing is, if you book your booking, it's usually good for what, about a month there, Vic?
Yeah. So we update our rates every 15 days. So every 15 days, we get our rates updated, and we can lock in those rates for a month. And everything's different. If you're a high volume shipper, we could get someone to lock them in for longer. So it's right. We do everything, right? So this is, and it speaks to this, right? Like, this is our platform. You're able to search for different types of services. Very straightforward, like booking a flight or searching a flight on Kayak. You put in the information, and you're automatically going to get all these different rates from different carriers.
Look at this.
Right.
So we just did the NTN to Long Beach. What did that take? 30 seconds? And you have your
and then you can do the
options
price breakdown, and then you can have the price breakdown, right? So you can see what you're being charged for.
Let's see here. Price breakup. So this is a pretty simple one. So right now for MSC NTN to Long Beach, 40 foot, simple rate, 1,500. We make 100 on that, 1,650. Boom. It is very straightforward. You have options over here for freight insurance. And
That's how much it costs to get a container from China to the U.S.
Today, yes.
$1,600.
You go back to 2022 January. That was almost $20,000.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, right now, I could
Yeah.
order a container of some bullshit from China and get it shipped over here for $1,600.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter, I told you we was gonna find a way to get you that container full of sex toys.
Oh, I got a whole vessel full, man. I chartered.
He said, I fucking booked a whole ship. That's
Yeah,
pretty.
man.
That's pretty badass, man. I will tell you that I didn't realize that y'all's platform was so, I don't want to say integrated. I can't think of the word. Anyway, I guess amazing. That's just the simplest word.
Well,
I can
yeah,
think.
we also have API integrations, man. Like, it fits into anything you
Can you
need.
shut the fuck up? Just like you told me earlier. Let me finish. Don't you love the relationship? I love you, Hunter. You know you're my boy. Anyway, I didn't realize how amazing y'all's platform was, man. Now that I can see this, dude, that is pretty cool. I've went on y'all stuff. I hate to admit it, but I've never explored it like that. But I don't run across like international stuff a lot. But I do have a couple of customers that do run international, and I've been talking to them since I spoke with Hunter. But man, to know that I could go on here and like kind of get myself a fucking quote and stuff, man, put in my info and then find out what the rates are, like, that's pretty badass. Because I'll tell you, the few times that I've given quotes for international stuff, man, I had to go through another person, and I really had no transparency on it. Like, I mean, she was a cool chick, so I know she was honest, but it's like she did everything and just like sent me quotes in her format. You know what I mean? So, again, even though I trusted her because we had a thing going on, it was a big deal for both of us. If I went to somebody else, man, I'm at the mercy of them. I mean, it could really cost me $500 to get, those 20 TEUs across here, and they're charging me $2,000, so man,
Yeah.
I really think that is pretty badass stuff, man. A lot of traditional brokers like myself, on our website, we have a thing where you can just hit a button, for a quote, put in your info, and then it's funny, you guys use Slack, so do we. And then it automatically uploads to our Slack quote channel. And, we have people that have quoted, and then we send it back out within a few minutes. But most brokers, they don't have something like this. It's kind of like what I said. They just enter their info, it goes to somebody, and then you wait to get the fucking information back. So this is really great, man. I'm gonna think the word that I want to use. I want to say intensive. I know it's an I word, my brain just have to go through all the I words I know and to think about what it is. But that shit's pretty cool, man. Hunter and Vic, that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. And this is from the customer standpoint. So like we have popular full container routes, like tells you ocean freight rates per container, rates applicable for the next 2 weeks, like popular LCL rates.
What's LCA? What's LCL?
LTL, that's less than container load. So like it's
that's funny.
LTL for
LCL.
Yeah. So it tells you how the look, it gives you the
but even to this, Hunter, like something that's very important. So it's like, so this is the customer view, right? So here you can track everything. And this is what we want people to see, right? It's like it's a wet base, it requires no installation, and you can share this with, so if you're a big company and you have, even if you're a broker, right, and you have different agents that are booking and doing sales, you can create separate accounts for each broker. So they have access to all of this, and they can track their quotes, they can track their bookings, they can track their TEUs, right? And then, as you mentioned, like just having access to that information, even for you as someone that's doing your own sales, just like being able to track how pricing has changed, right? Like you can see how pricing has changed throughout the year. So it gives you a good idea when to book as well, right? Because a lot of times these companies, they book at certain times, they're trying to catch good pricing, right? Like, especially today, this is the time to book. If you want to buy freight, you better buy it right now, because
let me interject if I could before, because I could tell you about to move away from the question I'm going to ask. This is the customer view. So like say I'm ABC shipping company or ABC manufacturing company, and I want to get a quote from Freight Mango. Can I just go on your site and put in my info and this is the view that I see, or do I need to register with you guys, get set up as an actual customer, get access to the portal? How does that work?
So you come to our website, click get started. It's literally your name, your phone number, email address. I'm not a robot, sign up.
Yeah, but it depends. I would say it depends on the size though. So like if you're just doing one shipment, right? Like if you're a small company and you just need to do one shipment like this year, then you just log in, create a free account, and get a quote, right?
Yeah,
because you just want to get reference, and it's as easy as that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, God damn it, you have to bear with me sometimes, Victor. I've got a brain injury, dude. So my brain just it stops, man. But let's just say that I have 5,000 shipments a year, but I have one lane, and I'm like, man, I wonder what Freight Mango could do this lane for. Could I just do the same thing, sign up as a regular customer and say, not say shit about my 5,000 lanes, but just like, hey, I just want to see what this lane that I have 5,000 loads in pays. Would that be the same thing as what you were just saying?
Yes. You can just, anybody can sign up, right? It's just what I was referring to is if you have that type of volume, you want to talk to someone because you know that volume holds power. Like this is a commodity. You have to ship that. So at that point, like if you have volume, you want to talk to someone. Hey, you want to say, hey, like I have this type of volume, because the rates that we have in our portal is for someone that is not, these are the best rates that we can get, that we can post, right? But there's a tier above that, which is us negotiating personally, right? So we have the technology piece. We have the platform where anybody can sign up and anybody can get a rate, and it's going to be a really good rate, right? Like I bet you if you call a forwarder and you tell them to give you that same lane that we pulled up, they're not going to give you that price. So we take pride in that.
Hold on. So, I mean, I know a little bit about international stuff just because, you know, my degree being in school. I mean, Hunter, you understand that, man. They kind of fucking touch on everything in a logistics degree. But so, what is the difference between you guys and a forwarder? Is it basically I'm skipping the forwarder by using y'all, or how does that work? Because, you know, of what you just said, like if I go through a forwarder, my rate could be more. So could you elaborate a little more on that one?
Yeah. So so if you, depending on the size of that forwarder, is the biggest thing is the transparency, right? With us, you know exactly what you're paying for and you know exactly what we're making. So if this, as the year goes by, if prices go up and down, you never have to question what we're doing for you, because you're going to see if prices went down, you'll see that they went down, and you'll see that it went up, right? With the forwarder, you'll see that it's going down, it's going up, but you don't know if when it went up, if they kept the same margin percentage, or if it went down, and if it went up.
Yeah.
And you can say my forwarder takes care of you, but do you really know?
Yeah. And to touch on that, man, a lot of these forwarders have these contracts, year long with some of these steamship lines. So they're getting rates back when it was at the peak of it, dude. I had one customer that sent me over an invoice on accident, dude. And it was $5,000+ on something that we could have done for them for $3,000 less, to say the least. It's insane, man. Like, this is a great platform to keep track of everything with high volume, but for the quoting portion of it, to Victor's point, it is more for, like, say you have, one or two off containers that you need, but it's still a great thing to sign up for if you want to explore it. But definitely talking to someone like Victor or myself, we can always meet you where you're at, because it's
and Nick, it comes down to the type of business that you do as well. So, like, for example, you may work like if you work with a forwarder, right, and that forwarder specializes in China to the US, they're going to give you great rates from China to New York, LA, Houston, whichever ports you ship to. But let's say you have an opportunity with a supplier, and let's say you do plywood, right, and you have an opportunity and you can go to Indonesia, and you're now getting great rates from Indonesia. The forwarder that you work with might not have great connections there. So you don't even know if you're getting great rates, but you trust your forwarder. You just expect that they're going to give you the same quality rate that they gave you from China, just transfer over to Indonesia. And that's not the case. Like, everything is the relationship based on volume. Forwarders have to keep a certain amount of volume in certain lanes to uphold that valuable rate, where as a marketplace and having Vanguard Logistics as a sister company, we always have access to great rates in many different countries to every single port in the US.
Very well put, Vic.
So it's that access to information makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And if we don't have those connections, like, we go out and talk to our agent. Like, we have multiple people that we work with, to get us the best solutions for these customers. Anybody. I mean, we are the glue. We are different than anybody else. We're not lazy on anything. If something does change, we will be very transparent with you. Like,
and Rob, to even make it even more simple, but let me simplify a bit, because it's a lot of information, right? It's like, at Freight Mango, you know what we make. So that incentivizes us to always work on your behalf, because we're not making more or less if your price goes up or down. Where a forwarder, they're margin centric, so they're working for themselves. So that's the big difference, right? It's like, because we're transparent and you know what we make, we're always going to try to give you the best rate possible, and you're going to see that.
So here's a question I got, man, and this is just me, like, as in intuitive. Well, I want to say an intuitive. I don't fucking know, man. All these I words that I'm forgetting tonight. I fucking tell you, that's what it is. Fucking I words tonight. So crazy question. What is the most expensive lane to ship right now?
Right now.
Well, I'll tell you some of the crazier. Well, I've been trying to ship from places like Denmark or like Spain down to South America or Costa Rica, like Guatemala and Costa Rica. Dude, a lot of people don't service that lane. So you're having to go through 3 or 4 different spots, like, just to get that done. And it's not cheap. It's not cheap, but I mean, are we talking port to port, Rob?
No, just
for the fun of it.
I guess so, bro. Like, I mean, port to port, like, obviously China to, I don't know, Long Beach, Houston, whatever it is probably the cheapest. So, like, what's the most expensive? Like, from fucking Denmark to America? basically, I
Just
guess.
think of low volume. Whichever country exports the least is probably going to have a really high rate because there's not a lot of ships going back and forth from there.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like I don't know what that is. So like I'm just interested. Tell me, is it from fucking Egypt to Long Beach? Is it from
There's no way to tell, man. There's so many different variables. Does
I
your
was just
customer cover ISF? Does your like do you cover ISF? Do you cover customs? Do you have like what do you want us to do door to door, door to port, port to door? Like it. There's no real solid answer to it. And
I think
like,
what's most important is just knowing how to connect, right? Like how to connect the three services. So where you're bringing it from, where it's going, which port it should arrive at, and how you're going to deliver, right? So the dray, the port, the international side. So like, because a lot of times, like for example, if you're in Ohio, you could bring in that through New York, you could bring that through Virginia,
Long
you could
Beach,
bring that to Charlotte, you could rail that over from Long Beach. So there's a lot of different options.
yeah.
And
So-
you have to be good at knowing
Well,
what's
yeah,
the best solution.
and that's another thing for us, man, because like even if it is like, so we get these rates and we also see the breakdown of it. So like if to Victor's point, like if it's coming from New York or if it's coming from Long Beach, like we can work on the back end for getting you better rates on the trucking portion of it, which we've been doing a lot, especially on the drayage side of things, man, because a lot of the rates we get will cover it, but in some of the tighter situations with the relationships that we have cultivated, it really just depends, man. It just depends. Don't ship through the Northeast, though. That's all I ask.
Yeah. All right. So here's a follow-up question. And this is, I guess, a question towards your quoting platform and a general question as far as, again, I'm a customer, man, ABC Manufacturing or fucking whatever. Can I get a quote on your platform? Say all my shit leaves from China, but I need some of my containers to go to LB or the port of LB. I need some of my containers to go to Houston, and I need some of my containers to go to Savannah. But they're all leaving at the same time out of China. I just need them to be dispersed to different places. Can I do that on y'all's platform? And or can I do that with you guys, I should say?
No, you can do everything on the platform. You don't need to talk to us to be able to book something like that.
So okay, so go ahead, Victor. I'm sorry, you may be about to answer my question.
But yeah, you can do everything on the platform. You're just better off always talking to someone, because the more we know, the better we can make that rate for you and that move.
Yeah.
So a good example is like what I was referring to. It's like, let's say you're in Tennessee and I came across a customer like this. Like if I'm a forwarder, the higher that price is. So like, let's say you're a one-off shipper, like how you're saying, like I'm trying to figure out this move and I go to a forwarder and I'm like, hey, I need to get this product over to Tennessee. That forwarder may say, hey, we get it to New York or we get it to Savannah and we're going to get a truck and we're going to deliver in a truck to Tennessee. That's not the best move. You're better off getting it there and railing it over to the inland port in Memphis and then delivering it with a truck over. So if you want to do that move, you could book it in the platform directly. You can book the ocean, you can book the dray directly. But if you talk to me, I'll tell you, hey, don't book the dray. Let's do a rail and then do the dray from the inland port in Memphis, and that's going to be cheaper. So that's the power of communication, right? And that's what I said. Like the most important thing is communication and just knowing that you're talking to a company that knows what they're doing, because that's going to save you more money than the initial negotiations that you're trying to do.
Yep. And not to talk about transit time, man, it's also huge. It's definitely beneficial to talk to us because it just
okay. So would I still get the same volume discount? Which I mean, I know how the volume discount works. You know, Hunter and I have actually talked about like ghost bookings and all that shit. So I am savvy on that part. But would my volume discount apply to my previous question? Like, although I'm shipping to different places and all my shit's coming from the same place, could I still get a volume discount or no, because it's on different ships and or maybe different ship lines?
So
So-
you get the volume discount.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know.
mean, if it's
Yeah.
under the-
Discount.
I
if it's
thought
under
that
the
was going to
same
be a hard
booking-
one. God damn it, Victor, you answered it too easy.
Yeah, if it's under the same booking, I mean, like, dude, these vessels go to different spots, man. Like export or import. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
But mainly
I
for
mean,
us is we're already doing volume too many places, right?
Yep.
So our volume is constantly moving to different places, so it doesn't matter. It's just overall volume. I think everybody's focusing more, even forwarders, is overall volume. I think the industry of you have to be competitive in price. Everybody is just trying to be as competitive as possible.
Oh, I have my next question. Oh man, I have my next question. Dude, hey, I told you, bro. I'm a geek about everything. Like I just like to know how things fucking work. Like that's why I love logistics so much, is because like there's so many steps in the supply chain, and I think that shit's cool because everyone has their own little place, you know, and then everyone kind of depends on the next person in line. You know what I'm saying? But so one of my biggest reasons, well, I wouldn't say biggest, but one of my top reasons that I don't deal with international or drayage or any of that stuff is because of paperwork and like clearances and tariffs and all of that shit. Which, do you guys do that? Because when I was going to do it, I was going to have to deal with a freight forwarder who did, you know, they were going to fucking do everything. Like they supposedly were going to do it all. But do you guys do that?
Mm-hmm.
what kind of question is that, Rob?
I mean, that's a good question. Again, bro. I mean,
No, it's a great question, man. Yeah, no, like,
We
so
did a poor job, Hunter. Pull up the website and show him on the quote.
I
I mean, you guys may have touched on it.
Give me 1 second. Give me
No,
one
no.
second.
No, we didn't. Chris is going to be mad when he looks back at this.
No, he's not.
But you know, you give them.
But dude, yeah, no, absolutely, man. We could, like, if you have import customs clearance, export customs clearance, like, dude, we have the connections. Give me 1 second.
Because, like, you know, I've ran across, and I got a customer now. The guy I was telling you that's in Vancouver. They send me like, well, they used to, but they, oh shit, hold on, let me check this comment here. Boom, I don't know whoever that was, but they say yes, we do. I don't know who that is, so it's got to be on your page, Hunter.
That might have been Chris.
But so my customer that like I said, that is in Vancouver, they used to send me stuff for things going to their location in Canada, but always said, hey man, like I don't mess with it because I don't know how to do any of that custom shit, any of that clearance stuff. And I don't know if that would be in y'all's realm, but my point is I think that a lot of like traditional brokers in my position, we don't deal with a lot of that freight because of that paperwork stuff, man. Like that shit is intensive. I know you guys know what I mean. Like it has got to be on point. I mean, even if a letter is fucking off, you know what I mean, or one digit, like it will destroy the entire deal.
Yep.
Yeah. So we do all of that. So we handle all of the paperwork that needs to be filed for your container or your pallet, right? So if you're doing LCL, you're doing full container. We'll handle all of the paperwork at the origin. We handle all of the paperwork once it's arriving at the port, and all of the paperwork to release it from the port. So we do all of that. We also do insurance, which is very important. So we offer everything.
Highly recommended, though. If you care about your freight, get that insurance.
I will say that even when I do, I'm assuming this is y'all boy Chris. We would do everything. We'll pick your cargo in China and do customs there. Once your cargo arrived in USA, we would do customs clearance, trucking, and delivery. Oh, it's
Raj.
Oh, Raj.
Is Raj work with y'all?
Yeah.
He handles our operation.
Okay,
You
okay,
showed
cool.
up
Hey,
just a little bit ago.
I
My right hand
appreciate
man.
I appreciate you chiming in, Raj. So before you get too deep into this, Hunter, I wanted to kind of bounce off the example that I just gave. We've been talking a lot about international stuff as far as, over across the pond coming to America. But I want to touch on my example. What if I have a shipment that I need that, comes out of here in Texas and I need it to go to Vancouver, Washington? Is that in your guys' wheelhouse, or are you primarily maritime and drayage and rail?
You should truck that.
What? Well, I
Yeah,
know I'm gonna. I mean, so that wouldn't be with y'all at all. Like, I couldn't get with you guys to help find me a carrier that could take it over the border into Canada for me.
So I will say this because I have been getting a lot of requests. We are working on that.
Okay.
Cross-border capabilities. I mean, dude, I know Canada very, very well. But it's like anything else, as of right now, drayage and international, obviously, some local trucking, and some relationships we have, obviously. I won't say no right away unless it's something absolutely insane, but we hear within the next month or so, inbound, outbound Mexico, outbound, inbound Canada. That's going to be well within our wheelhouse. Not high volume, of course, but
what about rail, Hunter and Vic? Like, do you guys do a lot of I guess you say intercontinental, whatever the fucking I words, bro. What did I tell you? The I words.
You're losing it.
Yeah. No, yeah. We do it in the continental rail. We do we do all of those services. So if the container needs to be offloaded, reloaded, as long as it's an international move, it's coming from the port and it needs to be delivered domestically, we can handle that move. But we can't. We just don't focus on domestic move. Strictly domestic.
That's what I'm saying. Again, dude, I ran across a customer a while back out of the DFW area. Well, Dallas Fort Worth for people that aren't in Texas, but out of the DFW area, and they shipped everything out of the rail yard north of Fort Worth. And it went to just various places. But, I told him, I said, dude, I don't do rail. I don't know anybody who does do rail. So,
rail's tricky. That's something I'm working on. But I mean, like with any of our relationships, like that's something I've been focusing on a good bit, working with drayage. Of course, you have to dray from the shipper or the receiver, at some point. So building those relationships with people like us that do, the rail thing, which it is a different business, but it's I think it's all relative, man. It's all relative.
But it's honestly, the international is a lot more simple though. You don't have to. Yeah. I think there's more stress in domestic freight than there is in international drayage.
Absolutely. Like if you're going YNTN to freaking like somewhere like Arizona or something, that's all inclusive. Or even from YNTN to
what's NTN, Hunter?
NTN, that's a port in China. So if you
say
if you have, or a city in China, whatever.
But it's a city in China, but that's a port.
Yeah, if you're shipping from NTN to like Chicago, door to port or port to door, like that's something that we could absolutely do for you because our partnerships with, Vanguard or any of our other agents, like we get it to the port for you, we get it drayed for you, and then we have the back end of it to the rail, get it railed, pick it up, dray it to wherever you need that product delivered. So
yeah, but I mean we do every move though, because like for example, like we have a customer that ships beauty products from the US to Italy, right? So we pick it up in South Carolina for them, bring it to the port in Charleston, and then from Charleston it goes to Italy, and we also do the delivery in Italy, the domestic. So we schedule everything. So we can schedule internationally, and we can schedule domestically in the US. So we can schedule international delivery, international pickup can be a little bit difficult depending on location, but if it's a modern country, very easy.
So I'm going to go to the restroom real quick, but when I get back, what you just said, I have a question that I'm gonna ask you, and dude, I'm gonna drill you, bro. Hunter tell you like I'm a question motherfucker, so I'm gonna question you. So I'm gonna be right back. You guys continue, and then I'm gonna ask you a question based off what you just said, bro.
Sounds good.
But yeah.
Hunter, I think it would be good to pull up. So go to quotes, because that will answer some of the stuff that Rob was asking about.
Well, actually, let me stop right here. Let's see. So I'm on the procurement page.
But you just go to the search. Search
quotes. Yep.
Yeah. So this is what Rob was asking about. Once you're looking to book a container, right? So you can just select the services.
Is it not showing up? Nope, it's not showing up. Yeah, so right here you can select your container size, heavy duty 20, reefers 20, 40, 53, in gauge, out of gauge, regular size 53 all the way up to 20, all the way down. The amount of units. So we'll just go here to pounds, 35,000. You can put your commodity code in here. So we usually just go FAK, freight all kinds. Another beautiful thing, you got port to door, door to port, door to door. Yeah, different commodities.
Go to the LCL tab, Hunter, real quick. Yeah, so there you go.
All right,
Rob. So this is what we were talking about. Once you're searching for the freight, see at the bottom where you see optional services, so you can get customs at origin.
There it is.
Customs at destination. If you need insurance, and then just different. If you need to see, like even at freight services, once it arrives or pickup, if you need a lift gate. So we provide all those services.
Yeah.
So
and then
go ahead, Hunter. I go ahead.
I was about to say, customs at origin. Like if you need freight insurance, you have the option to put it in right here. It needs to be palletized, customs, and then also freight services. Is it residential? Does it need a lift gate? Is it construction site? Is it a trade? So you have all the different options here for you. And then you have, I mean, it's like LTL, man. LCL is LTL, but in a container.
So
but overseas.
To bounce back to what Victor just said about that cosmetics company that y'all deal with, made me think of something. Say that I have a load of cosmetics, man. It's needs to come out of, let's say, Bristol, Tennessee, and I need it to go to let's just say England. Okay, I'm not asking for a quote, but my point is do you guys set up the transportation, or could you, from Bristol, Tennessee over to whatever would be the closest port and then get it on to the ship?
Yep.
So, all right, to follow up with that question, say I am that same shipper in Bristol, Tennessee, but I load my stuff out on a van trailer and then I need it to get it. Obviously, it's got to be put on a container to get sent overseas.
So you need it transloaded?
Absolutely. There you go. Would you
need it stored?
No, I don't.
Do you need it palletized?
I don't need it stored. You're going to cost me money. It's going to cost me money if I store it. I need that shit on the shelves right now to get my cashola.
Yeah, okay. That's what I meant when I said we can unpack and repack your goods, but transloading is the correct word for it. But yeah, we do transload as well, which a lot of people. I mean, I don't really recommend doing transloading, but that's just me.
I've
just deliver my container. Don't touch it.
I had a customer when I first started brokering that's what had to be done is because it was so far from a port that they weren't able to get like a container up there with a chassis and all that. It would cost like crazy fucking money. So they put it on a van trailer and then they sent it down to Houston actually. And then they'd have it transloaded onto the thing. Now I did the pickup from where it came from, which it was from Arkansas. I put it on a van trailer, and then I would send it down to a warehouse in Houston. And then the customer had someone like you guys that, you know, I dropped it off at the transload place, and then I guess you guys took over the transaction or whatever you want to say, you know, and y'all put it on the container and then moved it from there. So
it's all subjective. Like I had a customer that was shipping over from China to Long Beach and Seattle, Tacoma, and so we had to handle all the customs work, you know, getting the 7512 set up for their carrier from the warehouse that was getting, you know, from the warehouse to the truck that was taking it up through Canada. You know, all the bonded pieces of it. I mean, it's anybody we work with, you know, like I said, we meet the customer where they're at. So it's let us know what you need. The more information you give us, the better, the easier it's going to be for us. You know, obviously there are some folks out there like that, you know, this customer in question here, like they're up in Montreal. And when Vancouver was going on strike at that port, they had to, you know, reroute their entire supply chain. So it was good a learning experience for everybody. It doesn't always go pretty, but like we'll go the extra mile for you. I mean, we're all in logistics. Like everybody that works at Freight Mango has worked in every single aspect of this industry. So, you know, not everything's going to make sense.
Go ahead.
I was about to say, not everything's going to make sense price-wise, but like if you ask me to do something like, and if I don't have those resources, I'm going to let you know what I can do it for. And if I have that person for you, but you know, that's just the transparency that comes across. I mean,
yeah, like from my experience, and that's what I was referring to, like the first thing that I experienced with Parcel when I jumped into logistics, the people with the best service and rates that I came across that I couldn't beat or I provided to them were the people that were the most open to share information. Because the more information you share with someone, the better they can get you, whether you stay with whoever you have or if you end up switching. But like sometimes you end up having conversations with someone and they'll say, hey, like here are my lanes. Here are the prices that I pay. Right. And then they'll say from Indonesia to the US, right? Or from Japan to the US or from Brazil to the US. And yes, I can quote you on exactly what you're showing me, but let's say that's arriving in Dallas and it's coming through Houston, right? If you don't share information on how you do that move, like that forwarder that you use could have done that move wrong. Like maybe the way I know how to do that move just right there saves you a lot of money. Yeah. Right? So it's like people think that like withholding information or if they give you a target rate, like they're at a disadvantage. And it's honestly the opposite. It's like the more information you give, the better people are going to be able to quote you and figure out that move for you.
I so agree with you, man. And I want to touch on that from, you know, like my side, you know, doing, you know, domestic stuff, you know, the van reefer open deck. I run across even customers that I have, you know, that I've been doing business with, but touching on the new customers, we'll stay on that. But, you know, you're right. They'll send you over, hey, here's the lane. Here's where it's picking up from. Here's where it's delivering to, you know, here's what I usually put it on. And I'm a question person, man, because, you know, I'll use an example. I have a plant customer and they only used to ship on their own trailers, little 30-foot trailers. They have plywood sides. And they have grown, so now they moved into big trucks. And I have literally taught them everything they need to know about shipping on big trucks. But during, you know, most plant companies always want to use reefers. And, you know, when we first started doing business together, it was in like March. And even though we're in the South, March, it's still pretty nice outside. All of his stuff is like little day trips or less than, you know, you pick up midday, let's say on Monday, and then it drops, you know, first thing the next morning or midday on Tuesday. And, you know, he was under the impression he needed all reefer trucks. And I'm like, hey, man, you know, reefers are way, way expensive. You know, we could use a vented van and save you hundreds of dollars on your lane. And it all came from me telling or asking these questions, you know, hey, do you absolutely need a reefer? What kind of plants are they? Are they flowers? Are they outdoor bushes? things like that matter. I'll also use the customer that I was talking about in Vancouver. Their stuff, they always think that they need an open deck trailer. The cool thing about this customer is I pick up and deliver from one of their work sites to another. So man, they've always got forklifts on site and all this cool shit. And I'm like, hey man, like, dude, you've got these 4 pallets that you want to put on a flatbed, but I can put that in a box truck and it'll be $400 cheaper, So, and you ask them, hey, do you have the forklift to be able to put this on the box truck? Does it need a lift gate? Do I need a pallet jack? So, bro, I love that you said that. I agree with that. Is obviously, if you've seen, like, I'm a question person, because even the smallest detail can make a massive difference. A, in the price, B, in the transportation mode, C, in the transit time, and then D, in the service level. You know what I'm saying? I've got customers that say, oh, I only want to do LTL. And I'm like, well, hey, I could do that LTL shipment for $300. It may or fucking may not get there on the day you want it. But if you're willing to add another 500, I can have a Sprinter van shoot over that bitch right now, pick this thing up, and I can guarantee it'll be at your customer's door tomorrow morning, nice and pretty. You know what I mean? So,
see, Rob, that is what I call supply chain and logistics solutions.
Yeah.
That is a solution of supply chain and logistics, not what is the best rate you can give me. People today think that what's the best rate you can give me is supply chain solution. It is not.
I hate that shit, Victor. Dude, I talk all the time, or say all the time, man. I walk away from people, dude, that when I find out that, you're all about rate, that's all you give a shit. You shop your stuff around to 20 other people. It's like, dude, I don't have time for that. My knowledge, my abilities, the things that I'm willing to do and can do for you, to me, supersedes that, oh, I want the fucking cheapest rate. I do have 2 customers that I know price is king with them, but I've got the relationship with them. Like, hey, dude, we got to tack on $300 or $400 extra for this one to get the shit done. So, I love that you said that, man, because a lot of these new brokers out there on your side and my side, man, and Hunter touched on it earlier about his time at TQL, man. Everybody just gives a shit about rate. Like, is a broker, a freight forwarder, international people like you guys, a lot of them are just focused, oh, I need to give them the cheapest rate to get this freight. And they don't push all the other things that come along with them, like me. I tell all my customers, hey, look, man, I'm not a one man band. I literally have 65 other people behind me. I've got a full fucking tracking team, a full fucking booking team. I've got people that do all my accounting, all of our billing, like all of my like quotes. Like, even though I know my stuff, man, like, if you want a quote, just shoot it over to this email. My people will get you a quote, And yeah, some other brokers may say they do that, but I always like to say, I'm a real 24/7, 363, and I say 363 because it don't fucking bother me on Thanksgiving and don't fucking bother me on Christmas. But I'm saying people love that shit. They're like, what do you mean 363? There's 365 days in the year. No, there's technically not for me, because these are the 2 days. But anyway, a lot of brokers, man, they sell price first, they sell service second. And to me, if you're selling service second, then you're underselling yourself, because to me, in this business, you have, or I should say any part in life, you get what you pay for. And if you want to be cheap, you're going to get shitty service. You're going to get shitty carriers. You're not going to get the things that you actually need as a customer, manufacturer, distributor, whatever, to know where your freight is, when it's going to be where it's supposed to be, the transparency on the rate, the full service level. So, yeah, dude, I'm glad you said that, Victor, man.
Yeah. And then, like, even on our side, like, sometimes I wouldn't say it's disappointing, but it's definitely speaks to, like, how price driven the industry is. Like, when I'm on these calls, like, someone would ask me, what's the transit time for this lane, right? And of course, transit time is important, but like, what's more important than transit time is how often is your forwarder or your broker or whoever you use meeting your estimated time of departure. Like a lot of times these shipments get rolled over, they don't get picked up on time. So it's like, yeah, of course, like for the most part, a lot of people are going to be able to match transit time. But if whoever you're using is getting rolled over all the time, or they don't have good pickup services in whichever country they're picking up from, if you miss a estimated time of departure from a ship, that's 3 days, 5 days. Sometimes if it's on a Friday that was supposed to get picked up, that could be 6 days. So it's just like there's not enough questions in these calls that really affect your move. Like the estimated time of departure, like just questions about documentation. Just like there's just so much more into it but that's why even with us, the marketplace is like we try to simplify as much as we can. It's like we give you the all-in rate, you know what you're going to pay, and then we don't really worry as much about the other services, right? Like you have free days, which is I don't know if you ever heard of free days, but like when a container arrives at the port, depending on the level of volume that you do, you have access to, right? Like some companies only have 6 days, some companies have 8 days, some companies have 10 days, right? So depending on how much volume you do, that determines how many days you could get negotiated. And we can pretty much match anyone's days, right? Like if you're a volume shipper and you have 10 days, we could easily match that. We could probably even give you more. So we don't ask those questions, but we've had to prepare and build this all-in product because people just don't even give you access to properly service them. Like it's frustrating.
Yeah, dude. And even touching on that, Vic, like it is crazy. Like that, I had that one drayage load that was coming out of Indiana, and my customer's freight forwarder didn't let them know that the vessel that it was getting railed to had been overbooked. And it was like about to be overweight and everything. So they had to push back like a month, and they let the customer know like day of after we had already pulled the container that they couldn't do anything because the rail yard had rejected it. Like, can't do anything about it. You got a month out. And I was like, we let you know that stuff. Like, you know, it's not hard information to obtain. You keep up with the business you got. Something's picking up that day. Obviously, high volume, it can deviate, but it's not hard information to obtain. Like, it is, like I said, it is inherent laziness.
Are we changing topics? Rob went into warrior mode.
No, man. I do. While everybody's talking, I'm listening, and like Hunter does the same thing. Like we tweak with shit and stuff, dude. We're stupid about this stuff.
Yeah.
But I do want to circle back to the original point, man, and say that I do think that shippers really underestimate the power of information. It's to touch on what you said, Victor. They already doing business with someone else, and really all they want to say or do is, I'm gonna give you the basic fucking information. Here's the rates that I'm paying. Let me know if you can beat that. And like you said, man. Well, hey, like what happens on this leg of the trip? You know, how are you getting this part taken care of? You know, it's being shipped to Houston, but is it being transloaded? Are you paying for a drayage carrier to take that load all the way up there and then turn in the chassis? You know, how is that stuff doing? You know, you're shipping from Mongolia, you know, how are you getting that stuff from Mongolia to the closest port, you know, in the Arabian Sea or the Mediterranean, you know? And for me, like I said, you know, it's okay. Hey, you think you need a flatbed, but can you do this? You think you need a van, but can I put it in a reefer? You know, that's a question I ask a shit ton. And to touch on that, a lot of people think, oh, well, if you can put it in a van, you can put it in a reefer. And that is not always true. Reefer carriers or reefer trailers, obviously, y'all know, can't hold the same weights. You know, they have grooves in the trailer. Sometimes they don't like that. They have the chute up top, so you know the cube, you know. But it is the more information that we can get, the better. I think just all around. And I must say what Jeff said, because this is what I like to call myself. The more information that we can get, the better logistics service provider that we can be. You know, and they do, and I don't know why they're so protective over that. You know, I really don't. I run into that same thing all the time. It's, hey, this is where it picks up. This is where it fucking goes. This is what I want to pay. And it's like, well, okay, there's some variables here that we could talk about that could really, really change the game here. You know, so. Dude, I love that you said that, man. I'm actually glad to hear that even in y'all side of the industry, which to me, it's just a fucking giving with y'all's side that like you need every bit of information you can get. So I'm glad to hear that you guys get shorted on the vital shit that you really need to.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we're moving a couple cupcakes across the nation, you know, or across the globe. This is people's business, and it's like they don't realize it, you know. It's nuts. Like,
yeah, I mean, a lot of times also people were used to just handing over all of their business to a logistics company. Like, hey, here, take care of this, just send us the invoice. But because of COVID, when those container prices went up, and there was capacity constraints, people couldn't even find space. A lot of those companies ended up carrying a lot of debt. Like, they just got into a lot of debt, and the companies are even suffering from that now today.
Yeah. COVID fucked this industry and completely changed the game. And I say overnight, and although I know COVID was a long time, but I think you guys would agree that as soon as like that shit became a big deal, all the stay-at-home things and the blah 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 blahs, like it really was a over fucking night. Like, dude, the truckload rates changed, LTL rates changed, drayage rates changed, maritime rates changed. It was just, and it happened so fast that the industry wasn't prepared for it. And on the flip side of that, when it ended, shit changed overnight again. All the rates plummeted because all those all that congestion at the Port of LB, Houston, Savannah, High Point, I think is one in North Carolina, right? High Point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, High Point, you know, all of those things.
That's inland.
Yeah, it again, you know, it flipped everything on its head. I will say, bro, that COVID was the second worst thing that ever happened to this industry. And the first one was when the government got involved in the in 1980 or 81 and started fucking regulating our industry, and we got pulled into a lot of the bullshit that we did now. So Hunter and I have coined the term, which not so much applies to this, but as far as the people who got in the industry, we call them COVID crusaders. They fucking helped mess up the industry. All these shit brokers, shit carriers, shit freight forwarders, everybody that just jumped in it to make money, man. The COVID crusaders messed everything up.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's a wild west. Especially if you do like domestic LTL, FTL. I feel more bad for the logistics and supply chain and warehouse managers and directors. Like the amount of emails and calls that they get on a daily basis. It is,
dude. You're right, man. Go ahead, Victor. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, it's because of all of these companies out there. Like, I love entrepreneurship and everything, but it's like when everybody does the same thing and no one is really providing a solution, like it's just cost based. Like,
dude,
hell yeah.
You are so right, and that's my point on these COVID crusaders, bro. They in turn, man, they fuck the industry up, dude. And you're right. I'll get in touch with prospects, shippers, customers, whatever you want to call them. And they do. They're like, man, I get 50 of these calls a week. I'll put you on a list. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll never fucking hear from you. And it's because all these idiots, you know, and I say this a lot, heard from their sisters, mother, cousins, dogs, best friends, fucking aunt, that, oh man, get into logistics. You can make all this money. These people with zero experience that were working at damn 7-Eleven last week. You know what I mean? And they came in and they screwed stuff up, and they were taught that price is king. Service doesn't matter. Variables don't matter. Information doesn't matter. Time of the week, time of the day, the mode of transportation. None of that really matters as long as you can beat the rate. And that kind of sounds counter or contradictory, but a lot of these folks, they just go on DAT and they just say flatbed, Houston, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee. That's all they fucking do. And then they give that back to the customer, and they don't talk about anything, like you said, Victor, about actual real solutions, solving their problems. You know, what is the issue that you're having on this lane? What can I do to fix that problem and just control this lane for you, control your other freight, do all the things that a real logistics service provider should be doing for you, and to get you as the shipper out of that mindset that, hey, although you got fucked over during COVID and you're trying to now be the one in charge, that, hey, there's a meeting in there and you've got to meet me as the broker and the carrier somewhere in the middle with this rate in this service level. So, man, those COVID crusaders, bro, and COVID period, I know that's our term, bro, that we coined that. Dude, hey, just like I'm gonna say this, even though they'll never see this shit, dude, on whatever the fuck that show is that you watch today, Hunter, they started talking about space freight. Hunter and I we didn't touch on it big because we made a joke out of it. We talked about space freight like 2 fucking months ago when the government finally admitted that UFOs and aliens are real. So, Hunter, I'm telling you, bro, we're ahead of the curve. We COVID crusaders, that's our term.
Find us.
Other people using that shit, bro.
We're going to be on the side of milk cartons soon.
Yes. Anyway,
but it's facts.
Yes. I don't know about you guys, but I got to get off here. Unfortunately, I say this every night. My wife has to get up early because she works at a company that's on Eastern time. So I am going to have to chop out of here. But before we go, I would like to do another shout out to our sponsors. If you see Freight Management System, their logo is up here in the top corner, and their info is rolling across the bottom of the screen here. And if you'll watch this quick little video, we would greatly appreciate it. Bam.
Beautiful.
Yep. Freight Management Systems. Y'all give them a shout. They have an incredible TMS. If you don't know what TMS means, you need to get the fuck out of this business, but it's a transportation management system. Bro, I told you, Vic, we're real on this show, bro. We don't hold back at all, man. That's the point of the logistics.
I'm with you, man. Use technology. Technology is going to save you so much money.
Bro, it is. Hey, you wait till, man, we're going to have this other guy that's going to do a sponsor for us. They're called AccuBid. Dude, they developed this guy, Jimmy Durden, dude, super fucking awesome guy. They develop an app that helps carriers figure out their cost per mile so they know, at what point they're being profitable. And it's massively expansive. Hunter and I are going to, design some media for him and really get into it. But dude, point is, technology, you're right, really, really, really is, I say, good way, but also unfortunately runs this business. And I say unfortunately because the technology changes every freaking day, and at this point it's kind of hard to keep up with it at times. But yeah, Freight Management System, they have an incredible TMS. Henry Sheldon and his crew, they've been in business close to 30 years. Henry has about the same amount of experience in the industry. He started out as a driver, so they're really geared towards making sure they provide the proper solutions for you carriers, you brokers, and you shippers out there. And then with that said, we also want to give a shout out to Karen and King Insurance, specialist in commercial insurance, specifically helping out you carriers out there, owner operators, fleet owners, get you guys low-cost insurance, making sure that you have the proper coverages that you need to protect yourself and ultimately your customer, whether that be a broker or a carrier, making sure that things are on the up and up. And we will go ahead and run her little spot time now. What a deal. What a deal. Hunter, bro, always a pleasure talking to you, my brother. Victor, dude, it was so nice to meet you, man. I'm sure Hunter would just because he works for you, so he'll agree with me. But after
works with me.
Yes, exactly. Works with you, yes. But after we get off the show, he's like, "Fuck you, Bob. Don't invite that son of a bitch back on ever again." Dude, I would love to have you back on, man. You obviously have a ton of industry knowledge, man. I know we only really got to touch on the stuff that Freight Mango does, but I know that there's some other topics that we could bring you on the show and discuss, man, from your point of view. So, dude, I really appreciate you being with us. And do you want to say anything to close out before we leave, Vic?
No, been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
100%. Hunter, do you want to close out with anything, brother, before we roll this beautiful bean footage?
Happy Friday, everybody.
That's right, baby.
Check out Freight Mango.
Yeah, where's it at? What we got? Thirsty Goat. And what are you drinking on? Let's show it again, Vic.
Hold on, let me take that. We put napkins in our beer here.
Yeah.
I've been going after Jose Cuervo for about 6 rounds.
Oh shit. Hey, Vic, I wanna say something to you. I know it's not the same thing, but my dad and my brothers use koozies for their beer. And every time I drink with them, they're like, hey Rob, do you want a koozie? And my saying is, bro, if you need a koozie, you ain't drinking fast enough. You should not have that beer long enough to need a fucking koozie for it.
That is very true. Hey, I'll say this. They were not lying when they say Tennessee people drink differently. It is 10 p.m. and he's already on a 6 liquor drink.
Bro, hey, listen, let me tell you, you're not in our group chat, but this motherfucker Hunter, after his car got broken into, he was like, fuck this shit. And he sent us a picture and he said, I just ordered $100 worth of liquor on whatever it was.
On Uber Eats.
Sent us a picture of his order. I'm like God damn, Hunter.
Yeah, I would have done the same, man. Hey, I have never had that experience.
Yeah.
I have one time, dude. I had actually twice. My very first car was a 91 Chrysler LeBaron convertible, and some shitbag slit my convertible top and got in there and stole my CDs. That's how fucking old I am. And yeah, I stole my CDs, bro. And the funny part about it was I had $20 or whatever in my center console in dollar bills and change, and they fucking left that. It's like, how stupid are you to steal a book of CDs? You know what I mean? And the second time I had it happen, I had a 2006 Scion TC. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but my entire trunk was a subwoofer box. And dude, it was nice. It was a bandpass box. I don't know if y'all know, but what a bandpass is, but that's where the speakers are enclosed in the thing. Dude, it had neon lights. I had dual amps, all this shit. We had a massive party at my house, and we got fucking trashed, and I forgot to lock my car, and someone stole my subwoofers out of my car in front of my house, man. So I do know what it's like, and that shit sucks.
You deserve that. You drive a Scion TC in high school. You didn't want to give anybody a ride.
Oh, you were so funny, bro. You were so funny. Either way, I'm going to get off here. Victor, I appreciate you spending some time with us. Hunter, always a pleasure, my dude. I'll catch you in our group chat. And I just want to give another shout out to Sometimes Chad. Chad, you were supposed to be on the show tonight, but we hope you're getting some booty because we know that was your goal. He did, bro. He did. He texted me. I'm going on a date with my wife. I'm hoping to get lucky. So, hey, from me, Victor, and Dr. Dre, we hope you got lucky, Chad.
My boy. Later.